Hello everyone and welcome to the Kukuli Bushcraft channel. My last knife review was this, the Peltonen full tang, and I've done a few videos on Peltonen knives and also Tarava knives, and I keep on getting asked the same question. So between the Peltonen Sissipuukko and the Tarava Jääkaripuukko, which one would I recommend? Simple answer. So similar. I don't really think there's very much difference, but I think it would depend on the user. Personally, I like the Peltonen a little bit more. So what I'm actually going to do today is I'm going to do a little bit of a cutting test. I'm not going to bother testing the edge retention. These are both 80 CRV2, so the same steel, both presumably blades made by Laurin Metalli, but there are a few differences in the edge geometry. So the Tarava comes with a Scandi grind with a very slight micro bevel. The Peltonen is more of a sabre grind. It's a little bit higher with a secondary bevel. So I don't know, when does a high Scandi grind become a sabre grind? I don't really know. Both of these have been used. They've both been sharpened a few times, so this isn't going to tell you what they're like out of the box. Also, with both of these knives, these aren't exactly the same as the ones that are available right now. So the Peltonen, for example, now you can buy it coated, you can buy it uncoated. The coated version, or at least the old one, you can't strike a ferro rod with. You can't really scrape fat wood with it. And also with the new ones, they have, you see the little sharpening choil there. The older ones don't have that, and also the rubberized handle is slightly different. What I like about the Peltonen is it just feels more nimble in the hand and a little bit more grippy. Cutting performance, we'll soon see. It's a lot easier to test that when you've got, you know, when you've got two knives doing the same job. But yeah, the Peltonen has a slightly thicker handle, a little bit more of a finger guard. It has some nice traction on there. Both the handles are pretty grippy, to be honest. So the Jääkaripuukko's got this kind of soft plastic. Yeah, they're both really grippy. Okay, got a bill here. Peltonen. Peltonen actually seems maybe, oh no, I don't know. Yeah, the Peltonen is, I'm going to strop this a little. Oh, yeah, that's better. Hopefully about the same, otherwise I'm going to have to strop this as well. Yeah, that's similar kind of sharpness, I'd say. Not very scientific, but never mind. Okay, so let's talk about the sheaths. So, I'm putting the knives back in the wrong sheaths. The Jääkaripuukko fits perfectly in the Peltonen sheath, it appears. So the regular leather sheath that comes with either of these knives, I don't have with these knives, but the Peltonen Sissipuukkos now come in this sheath. There's been certain changes made to the sheath, so that bit of leather has been removed, which I think is a mistake, because that enables you to hang this upside down on your rucksack, or yeah, it just gives you more carrying options. That's gone, and so is this shield. So what you're left with is a leather sheath, removable Velcro strap, on a dangler, obviously. You've got a leather thumb ramp that works great, and you've got this little wheel mechanism that the guard rolls over the wheel, and it gives you excellent retention. Yeah, so here I've got the Jääkaripuukko 110. Is it the 110? Yeah, it's the 110. Which I've got in a Vegvisir Creations sheath. Great sheath, made by Jääkari. He makes this very similar sheaths for both knives, so that's not a very good example. Somewhere here I've got the larger Jääkaripuukko. The Jääkaripuukkos, the leather sheath looks like this. So you've got a button here for extra retention. Even without the button, you've got really good retention. With that closed, it's not going anywhere. You've got this nice little D-ring here and a dangler. Fair bit of rattle in that, but you know, I mean, that's not going to make very much noise on your hip, unless you're running really fast, maybe. Yeah, both good quality sheaths. I really like this wheel mechanism. I think that is so smart, and I also like the extra bit of leather on the older sheaths. So this knife is available also now in N690, I think, stainless steel. You can buy it in different colours. You can buy it with the Teflon coating, without the Teflon coating. So there's lots of options, just to complicate matters. So as if you're thinking of buying one of these knives, yeah, so out of the Sissipuukkos, the Ranger knives and the Jääkaripuukkos, the one that I like the best is the Peltonen M95. I like having, I haven't got that here actually, yeah, but I like the extra length, and also this is the Jääkaripuukko, the old stainless, but I like the extra length. I'm looking around to see as if I've got the M95 here somewhere. No, but I like the extra length. It's still very, very easy to use. It's light, it's nimble in the hand. If we have a look at the weight, I mean, the balance point's round about there on this one. So And on the Jääkaripuukko, yeah, about the same. And the weight, there's not really very much difference. Yeah, so I'll go and get a magnet. I'll check where this tang comes to. There is actually a video by Joe X where he destroys one of these, and you do see it's got a very substantial hidden tang. Yeah, goes right to the end. Right to the end. So that the lanyard hole obviously goes through the tang. Yeah, of course I don't have to do that with the Jääkaripuukko because it has the end exposed, which which some people might see as an advantage, is if you want to break windows, if you want to smash stuff. Yeah, so that's a little extra thing to consider. And like I say, they're very similar knives, and we are looking for quite small differences. Yeah, so like I say, you can't strike a ferro rod with the back of the Teflon coated one. And as if we look at the spine of the Jääkaripuukko, there's quite a strange thing going on with the angle. It's sharp, but it's kind of angled down slightly, and it works for scraping, but the angle you've got to hold it at is a little bit different, and I find that a little bit it takes a little bit of getting used to. Okay, let's try 4 cuts. Easy. Now the Jääkari. Yeah, about the same. What a surprise. A bit of a knot there. Uni, stop eating grass. Uni, careful, Uni, Uni. Okay. That seemed to dig in a little bit deeper. The cross grain battening. Or maybe not. A little bit neater. I think mostly because of that knot. Let's go deeper. Go a bit deeper. Uni, you don't eat grass. So I'm a little bit distracted here, both by all of the mosquitoes and all of the horseflies, and also the dog. she's on a long lead that she's wrapping around the tripod. About to pull the camera over. Oh yeah. So the mosquitoes in Lapland at this time of year are a real nightmare. Okay. So the Peltonen, I've actually done that a little bit smaller, but it does look a little bit cleaner than the one from the Jääkaripuukko. I'll maybe try and use the Peltonen to clean it out a little. Try not to cut towards myself too much. Yeah, I think the point being a little bit finer helps to get in just a little bit better. Let's try some feather sticks. You okay? I think the Peltonen might win with the feather sticks. knot at the bottom. Right. So first, the Sissipuukko. Let's try it on here. Uni, good girl. Lots of them falling off. There we go. Let's try this side. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not seeing any difference. I mean, it's one thing to say that one knife's better than the other, but you don't know really until you try them both together, and the difference is nothing. Except for, in my hand at least, the Peltonen feels just a tiny bit more comfortable. I think the Peltonen is a little bit more expensive. I do like the sheath more with the Peltonen. And of course with the ferro rod, Jääkaripuukko works fine. And with the coated Peltonen, nothing. Oh, little bit. So with my M95, what I've done is I've ground a little bit here. And when you've got something that's comfortable to get your thumbs behind and not so sharp, it is actually an advantage. And also I don't tend to put my thumb over the back of the blade here. I do put my thumb here a lot to get a bit of leverage. So sometimes I think as if you grind down this bit for the ferro rod, and then you've got this bit for doing this kind of cut, I think then you can have the best of both worlds if you do buy something that hasn't got a sharp spine. Well, there's no need to slice tomatoes that thin. No difference. Let's try something else. Red. Good stuff. No difference. That's good stuff. Conclusions. Well, the same steel, the same thickness, the same length. The Peltonen MO7 may be a little bit more cutting edge. The MO7 also seems to be overall a little narrower and narrows out a little bit more towards the tip. Very similar edge geometry. In performance, there's no real noticeable difference. So it's all down to personal preference. For one thing, it depends on your hands and what feels more comfortable in your hand. which I can't help you apart from I can say that the Peltonen, I think it's the fact that it's a little bit wider in the handle. I think that feels a little bit better in my hand with gloves on. I don't think there's any difference. You've got the exposed pommel on this, as if that's an advantage to you. I certainly can't see it as being a disadvantage, being able to use it to smash things up as if need be. Yeah. The sheath, they're both nicely well made sheaths. They're both available in Kydex, and there are some other options. So this is the current Peltonen sheath. And where's my Tarava 140? Yeah, versus this one. That rubber wheel is a genius invention. Here you've got this little press stud that even when that's open, it still retains the knife really well. Yeah, so you've got Velcro as opposed to a closed leather loop with a D-ring. Little bit of rattle in that one. This one's quite silent, and a lot of these things don't particularly matter to me. I like the wheel because that is just, the retention is like super good. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. They've both got plastic inserts in them rather than a welt. Yeah, so my personal preference, I still prefer the M95. I'm going to actually find that now. Okay, my favourite out of the lot of them, the M95. I like the extra length because you've got a little bit more length, and it's 6 inches, 150 millimeters, but it's still really nimble in the hand. With it having quite a narrow blade, it's quite light, but still nice and strong. It's thick enough. And it's 80 CRV2, it's good steel. As if you're really preoccupied that you might break it, then maybe the Jääkaripuukko would be better, with it being a little tiny bit wider. So this is the 140, so 140 millimeters is less than 6 inches. 150 millimeters is 6 inches. So yeah, it's a little bit longer, and a little bit less broad. Yeah, so nice and nimble. Also, let's put this back. This isn't available anymore in stainless, by the way. I've got a very old one. I've got this set up with a strap going this way. I like to carry it on my salopettes in the winter vertically. That doesn't work with the smaller MO7. It works with this one because it's a little bit more blade heavy. The balance point is a little bit more towards the blade, like you might expect. But yeah, this you can't do anymore unless you buy your knife in the plastic sheath. This is the plastic sheath for the MO7. It's got the same little wheel, and yeah, so you can also put the strap on the other side there, and also you've got that little gap there that you can thread your Velcro strap through, so you can carry it upside down, or yeah, more options. You can attach it to molly webbing or whatever. So these are the two knives that I compared in my first comparison between the Jääkaripuukko and the Sissipuukko. I didn't say that I recommended one more than the other in that video, and I'm not going to say that in this video. I will say personally I prefer this one. I'll say this is possibly a little bit more robust. I think this one is robust enough. They're both about the same price. Not the M95 so much, but the MO7. The smaller one is available in, well, I think they're both available in lots of options now. You can have coated, you can have uncoated, you can have stainless steel, you can have, you know, lots of different colours, so as it matches your outfit when you're out on the town, you know. Yeah. Which one do I recommend? Both of them. Which one should you get? Well, I don't know. I hope this has been somehow helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Please write in the comments which one would be your choice. And I'll see you all again soon for another Kookily Bushcraft video. Bye for now.